Hi everybody, welcome back to Bearded Reef. My name's Ross, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about the tour that I've done of Tropical Marine Centre down in London. Okay, hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Like I said there, my name's Ross, this is Bearded Reef, and this video is going to be all about the little tour that I've done down to TMC, which is Tropical Marine Centre down in London. Now, myself and I think it was about 10 others got invited down for a kind of social media day, if you want to call it that. You know, to get a little tour around the place, see how everything's done, a couple of presentations, meet all the guys and so on. So, fantastic opportunity, something that I've wanted to do since I got into the hobby. You know, you always hear about TMC that's where most of the shops get all their fish and corals from. So it was one of them that I thought, fantastic, this is really, really good. It was actually what spurred me on to buy this new camera that we're using as well. Which brings me on to the next point, that went down there, flew down one day, was there the next again day, filmed loads and loads and loads of content for you guys, loads and loads, and the bad news is that I've lost it all. Long story short, the files were corrupt, I don't know what happened. I filmed it the same way as I filmed these videos, and yeah, transferred them to the computer and they're gone. So absolutely gutted with that, devastated. Don't really know what to say other than that, to be honest with you. Files are gone, I can't get them back, I've tried and tried, and yeah, that's it. Now, fortunately, I do have the pictures that I took, so while this might be a little boring without all the videos, the pictures will still be there. Now, if you do want to switch this off now and go away, by all means, I don't blame you, that's fine. This is totally on me. I've messed up here. I apologise to TMC and the guys down there, you know, they put on a fantastic day for us. I filmed it all and the footage is gone. So, yeah, gutted. Not much more I can do than that, but we'll try and make the best of a bad situation here, and I'll try and give you a run through of exactly everything that happened and what went on. Like I say, I will put photos and that in. If you do want to see some video footage, you know, there was lots of other people there in the day that you'll be able to see videos from. I'm sure they'll all be up this weekend. You know, like Reef Dork and Close Reef and them, they've all got great videos up, so go and have a look at their channels if you do want to see the videos, but yeah, unfortunately I don't have any video footage from that. Okay, so yeah, let's start with this, I suppose. I do have a couple of clips here from my phone from when I was going to the airport. So yeah, first of all, really, I left my home. Now I live in central Scotland, so I travelled across to Edinburgh Airport, picked up a plane from Edinburgh Airport, didn't pick it up, wouldn't be that strong, jumped in a plane, Edinburgh Airport shall we say, and flew down to London. So flew all the way down to London. That was where Chloe actually met me at the airport and gave me a lift up to the hotel, so it's fantastic, thank you very much to her. We then all met up at the hotel. We met up with a load of guys from TMC and some other reefers as well, and we had a meal and a great night at their TMC, the hotel, sorry. Following day, we travelled out to TMC at Chorleywood. Now, this is just outside London, just off the M25. You can actually see it from the M25. Quite a fantastic facility, a really big facility actually. One that I believe used to be a lily farm, so a really nice setup. It's got a little stream runs through it, and you know, some ponds at the back and so on, but purpose-built facility. You know, it was complete just flat ground, rubble and so on when they moved in, and it's been on site since 1970. So the company's been running since 1970, and to this day are probably the most successful importer exporter, if you want to call it that, in Europe. Biggest supplier of all the tropical fish, inverts and so on. So yeah, the supply I think is about 70% of the UK's trade, with all different dry products, goods, corals, fish, inverts, everything. So, you know, they're a massive player in this game. And the site is always closed to public, it's never open to public. You've got to be a trade member to get there, and you've got to follow certain criteria to meet their trade standards before you can get an account. So, you know, it's quite an exclusive thing, not anybody can just walk in off the street. So I was really, really fortunate to be invited down to this. So yeah, the day started off with us, we all met at the fish house. We got a tour of the fish house and basically left to kind of wander about there, have a look at all the different fish and see what there was. Now this was the point where, I'm not joking you, I probably spent about an hour walking around going, wow, 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 look at that. Fish I'd never ever seen before. Absolutely stunning colours, stunning, just rare fish and unusual fish I've never seen. Don't get me wrong, there was all the usual stuff, all the different clownfish and so on. Some really, really nice, unusual fish in there, and it got my head blown. I was just thinking, this is incredible. And actually, Christina, the woman that organised it all, said that she would love to film her reactions as we walked through the door. And it was one of those moments where you walked in and just went, wow, this is incredible. Really, really, really good setup. A really, really nice place, lots of nice people. You know, everybody that worked there was so kind, so friendly, invited us in, and you know, it wasn't one of those where it was like, this is all secret. It was a case of, yeah, have a look, knock yourselves out, see what you can see. So yeah, we spent about an hour walking around there, looking at all the different fish, all the different corals. There was loads of different corals that I've never even seen before, all different types, from colonies to frags to everything. And I mean, for me, it's amazing to see, but if you had an LFS, if you owned a fish shop, and you could walk in there off the street, get an account, get everything set up, and then you could go there and pick your own livestock. I mean, it's unbelievable, really, really good. So yeah, I think from, they've done a little presentation later on, but I'm sure they said it was almost 2,000 different species, you know, of fish, corals, inverts and so on that they could get. So it's a massive, massive, massive operation. Now they do pull from hundreds of different suppliers. I think they've got 55 different locations, where it's like, you know, the catching stations, if you want to call it that, where they actually catch the fish from. And I believe it's across about 28 different countries. So there is a lot of variety, shall we call it. Now it is all sustainably sourced. It's net caught fish. You know, they're not done by lines or hooks or nets. It's like, it's hand caught basically, is what I mean by guys scooping them in little nets. So completely hand caught, sustainable. Now it is a really short supply chain in this. So basically what TMC have done is they've picked locations round about where, you know, they're very close to where the fish, the coral and everything comes from, but it can also be very close to airports and big hubs. That's why, I mean, the main one's at London, so everything can come into London. Now, they do have 4 different centres. They've got Chorleywood in London, they have Bristol, they've got Manchester, and they've also got one in Lisbon. So I didn't know that, but they've got a Lisbon one that serves a lot of the European market as well. So that's the 4 hubs that they've got. I was at the London one, and like I said, really, really impressive. So yeah, I've kind of digressed there, but anyway, back to it. So yeah, like I say, lots and lots of different species that they can get you. So we spent, like I said, a good bit of walk around there. Then we kind of went on a tour round about all the behind the scenes bit. So first of all, we went through, and we actually went and looked at where they build like all the pond UV sterilisers and so on. A lot of the stuff from TMC, like their dry goods and so on, are actually built and made on site. Some of the stuff's made off site, but you know, like the pond skimmers and so on are made there. So we got a good look at them. Actually quite cool to see them getting made and, you know, speak to the guys and see everything. Now they do carry all the spare parts for that, everything there for it. So yeah, it was quite an impressive workshop that, to be honest with you, to see all that stuff. We then took a walk through the back to see all the filtration rooms. Now this, for want of a better word, is where the magic happens. The first room we walked into was the pump house, and I think if I mind right, there's about 17 of these industrial scale pumps with the biggest ball valves you've ever seen in your life. I mean, just everything on a massive scale, and the turnover of water was unbelievable. I mean, the noise in the place, the flow, it blew you away. It really, really was impressive. The room next to that was the big filtration house. So inside there, they had basically the big trickle tanks, then they had the sand filters, and then there was also the big massive protein skimmers. Now these protein skimmers were taller than me. They were absolutely huge. Now, I know Alex for Reef Dork, he jumped down there and actually stood beside one, and they are massive. Really, really, really big. I mean, even for cleaning out the skimmer cups, they're blasting them out with water from nozzles that's inside the cups, and you're not lifting them off and emptying them out. They are huge. So yeah, again, really impressive setup. They had a pallet of the tropic marine salt that they use, and that pallet, I think they said, would last them a week. So, you know, it was one of those where I thought, wow, this is serious here. It's a very, very big operation. So we then quickly nipped upstairs above there. That's where all the kind of filter cartridges and so on were. So just banks and banks of filter cartridges they can change out in there. I mean, everything on a huge scale, and it's all designed in-house, it's all built in-house. And I actually believe that the same guy that done the install still works for them today. So, you know, he's still working there. They do these installs for all different public aquariums and so on, also swimming pools and things like that as well. I mean, it's not just aquarium stuff. But yeah, it was really, really good. So moving on from there, we went through to a bit where they actually had all the UV sterilisers there around the back wall. So the UV sterilisers are hidden in a false wall behind all the tanks, so you could see them. And then after that we went round, had a little tour around about the outside of the building and so on, and seen where they make all their lights. Now, a lot of the TMC lights are all made on site. Again, specialists in there that build them. So yeah, it was really, really good to see that. Then we went in and had a look in the showroom. Now, the showroom's probably the most kind of special part of that. That's where you walk in and Basically all the TMC products are on show, everything's there, you can see them all, you know, you can get your hands on them all and have a look at them all. So they had a range of their tanks, you know, the habitat tanks that's there and so on. But the one that stood out for me is the most kind of impressive thing in there was the new tank. Now that is the, don't quote me on this, but I think it's called the Next Wave 60. Now this is a little 60 litre nano tank. Now my knowledge, I don't think there's been any photos of this released yet or anything, but this little thing is impressive. A 60 litre nano tank, it comes complete. Now that's coming with the tank, a light, a skimmer, the return pump, everything. All you need for that tank is, I believe, a heater, and I think it's a little air pump for the skimmer. It's an air-driven skimmer that's there. So I think that's the only two things you need for it. Everything else comes with it, and I believe the price is going to be very, very, very reasonable. So I think this could be a game changer in the hobby, one that people are going to jump on, and I think a lot of people will get this tank, and I think it'll be very, very popular. Really good quality, it looked really, really nice. So yeah, the other thing that kind of stood out for me there was the new Reef Pump Compact that they've done. Now this is the kind of the pump that sits almost completely opposite from every other pump that I've seen. Most pumps sit horizontal, this one sits vertical, it's got a bottom intake on it and the hose on the top. So for little tanks like this Waterbox here, it's perfect. You'd slide it in a tiny little chamber, get it up from there, and yeah, it looks really good. Now they did have a whole range of their Eco Reef rock. Now some of the Eco Reef rock was really, really nice as well. Now on the Eco Reef rock, I didn't know this, but it's all designed that you can interlock it to make one big piece. So you know, from some of the smaller bits they interlock to the next biggest bit. I think there's 4 kind of designs as such, and they all interlock to make one massive aquascape. So you know, if you upgrade a tank, you don't need to buy loads more rock, you can just buy the one more bit and that'll do it. So yeah, great idea for that. What else was there? Was the Reef Flow 2.0. Now that's the little tiny wave makers. I mean, some of them are absolutely tiny. Some of them are really, really nice, really cool little wave makers. So yeah, it was cool to see all them. The new Vectron Triton, I think it is, UV sterilizer, it was there as well. So yeah, I got my hands on all that stuff, had a look at it all. Really, really nice setup. I mean, everything's well done down there. I mean, I'm just gutted I don't have the footage to show you. I had footage of everything that would have really, really been nice, but yeah, I'm not going to dwell on that again. But yeah, really impressive setup in the showroom. Then we went across to what I think they call the think tank. It's a little kind of conference room, and we had a couple of presentations in there. We had one all about TMC, the history of TMC, how it's sustainable and so on, and then we had another one about like kind of developing innovative products and so on. So really good. Then we had a question and answer session with Brian, who's the kind of managing director of the company. Really, really nice guy, knows a lot about the industry, has been in it for a long time, and yeah, it was fantastic. We were really made to feel at home. So that kind of rounded off the day. You know, it was just great to see. I mean, I think the phrase they use is reef to retail, and how that turnaround process happens. I mean, it's as little between, I think, 5 to 7 days is from when that fish is caught on the reef to when it's in the tanks at TMC. Now, when the fish do arrive at the tanks at TMC, they go into what's called a kind of acclimation room. Now, I wasn't actually allowed to film in there because it was, you know, it was all dark, but the acclimation room is actually really, really nice because the way they do it in there, now they don't call it quarantine, which I quite liked as well, because quarantine's a very, you know, it's almost a very nasty thing. You think, oh, you're quarantined, you've got some kind of disease or that, but no, it's an acclimation and resting facility. Now in there, they've actually got red lights in the roof. I didn't know this, but fish can't see red lights. So when you've got the red lights in there, the fish aren't stressed, they're not jumping about all over the place. And those fish will remain in there for as long as they need to. There's not a set period to say, you know, it'll be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. You know, they're in there to acclimate, to rest, they're drip fed in there. And yeah, basically just to take the time and do the process properly. So really impressive setup. The other thing they said as well is that from the moment that fish is caught to the moment it gets to TMC, it's individual, you know, so it's not sitting in a bag with 3 other fish that's going to nip fins, it's going to, you know, like they can release pheromones which say the fish is stressed, so they'll get attacked. That's not going to happen. So these fish are individually cared for from the second that they're caught to that they're brought in. And like I say, it's completely sustainable. The way they do this, the guys are trained, you know, the education and so on, is fantastic. So yeah, I think it's really, really good. It's one of those things we need to protect. I think it's fine everybody's saying, oh, I want tank bred this and tank bred that. That's not really possible. You'll end up with maybe 15 species in the hobby. It's going to be a very boring hobby, that. Everybody's going to have the same, you know, it's not exciting at all. Now, as long as you're careful in your selection in the reefs and so on, then I think it is sustainable, and I think it'll be fine to go on for years and years. The second that the activists, shall we call them, shut down any of these imports, you know, they've already tried to do it. The second they shut down them, this hobby's in bad shape. So yeah, I think we just need to be mindful that, you know, it is a sustainable hobby. It's not, you know, it's providing so many jobs as well. So it's not something to look down on. And, you know, a lot of the things that we learned, I mean, I could talk for hours on this video of things that we learned, but I don't really think that's what you guys want to see. But yeah, it was really good. I learned a lot of stuff there, met a lot of nice people, just had a fantastic day. Like I say, apologies that I don't have the footage. I'm probably more gutted than you are at that. You know, I travelled all the way, I flew down to London, spent the night there and that, and I've no footage to show for it. So yeah, nothing I can do. So that's kind of a brief rundown of what happened on the day. I don't know if I'll get a chance to visit again, or I'll maybe try and get a chance to visit the Manchester one and hopefully get some footage there, if I can fix out the issues with this camera. I'm not sure if it's the memory card or whatever, but yeah. Anyway, that's really it for this video. I just want to say a massive thank you to you guys if you've stuck with this one. I do realise this is going to be a really boring video for you of me literally telling you about my day, but you know, there's nothing more I can do than that. So I'll have put the pictures on the screen and showed you anyway of all the different pictures that I got, but yeah, that's really it, I'm afraid. So yeah, moving forward we have got some good news about the new tank and so on, but I'll get all that in the next video. So yeah, hopefully you guys are all staying safe out there. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for watching this video, folks. I really do appreciate it. Stay safe, take care, bye bye.